Welcome to the No Stand Zone podcast. My name is Tiae, and it's a pleasure to have every one of you here. Thank you very much for your time. I understand that it's a lot of commitment to tune in every single, because I also have a couple of podcasts that I listen to, and I have to listen to this podcast every week because I have to do a lot of the editing on the back end and post it for you guys. So I also listen to this podcast myself, but I have a couple of other podcasts that I listen to every week that I feel like I love the work that they do. And listening to the podcast every week for me is sort of like a service to them, like appreciating them. So I'm looking at it from that point of view as well. So when I see that a bunch of you guys are downloading every week and also listening as well, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel good. It makes this work a lot very, very rewarding. And there are some times that I don't want to come in and it's hard and all of that, but knowing that you guys are waiting on the other end to listen, to download, and all that fun stuff makes it a lot more rewarding on days that it's very tough. So thank you very much for your time, whatever country you're listening to this from. Big shout out to you. You're listening from the UAE, you're listening from Australia, from Japan, from France. Bonjour. You're listening from South America. You're listening from Mexico. Gracias. Where else again? South Africa, Tanzania. I could go on and on, from Nigeria, and also from here in the States. Thank you very much for your time. I cannot thank you enough. And if you're joining for the first time, please do not hesitate to follow me on social media, especially on X, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. That's where I'm very, very active, and you can get to know some of the updates about the show, and I post little clips every now and then about some of the things that I've spoken about on the pod, and about the music and things happening around the music industry as well. And okay, let me not go into a rant right now. We're also on YouTube. Please subscribe there as well. We also post videos here and there. Please subscribe to support the work we're doing here. It's a No Stands on with Tiae on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Tiae Sound. That's just Tiae Sound. We're also on TikTok. It's Tiae Sound on TikTok as well. What else do I need to cover? Yeah, please. So just follow on all the other social media platforms, and please follow as well. We're also on Twitter. It's No Stand Pod, at No Stand Pod on Twitter as well. So you can just follow up on all these things. Okay, so that's the reason why all these social media platforms exist. Hopefully we get big enough that I can have someone who can be taking care of all this fun stuff on those. And honestly, that would be my dream for that to happen, right? Because I know it's important that we post on social media and let people know about what we're doing here. I know, and I'm not going to lie to you that it's not been tough. It really has been, but yeah, we'll get to that at some point. It's the dream for that to happen. And let me also mention that very soon I'm working on making this a video podcast very soon. We're putting one or two things together to be sure that when we start, then we're sure that it's gonna be every single week, and we're not going week in, week out, that kind of thing. You guys know how I am. I'm very concerned about getting the basics right, which is getting the podcast going, and then if we're gonna make a big change, big move, it has to be permanent and something that we can sustain. So just getting the little things done, the little things that are really, really important. And getting myself mentally prepared as well. So, we're working on all of those. So please stay tuned for all of that fun stuff. Thank you very much again for your time. Let's dive into what we've got for today. But before I go into today, let me start from last week. Let me take a couple of steps back. If you guys remember last week, I reviewed a single by this incredible lady. Her name is Amaeya, Nigerian R&B singer. Absolutely fantastic. She has this song out now titled How Do You, which for me so far this year is one of the most beautiful songs that I've heard this year. For me, it's up there as one of the singles of the year for me. It's fantastic. The songwriting is just insane, and the storytelling is, it's fantastic as well. And her being able to juggle that Western R&B and adding the Nigerian flair to it, it's just perfect. Right there in the middle where it needed to be. Her voice is absolutely incredible. And I promised last week that I will do some sort of research, a deep dive, because I've liked maybe one or two of her songs in the past, but I've never really done a deep dive into this artist to kind of know what she's about and her history, and sort of go through her discography to kind of know what she's about, right? I know she's talented, but when you go back and you see what artists have done, it kind of gives you a broader view about who they are. And oh my God, it took me a lot of hard work to snap out of her discography to actually listen to other songs that were released this week, because this lady is incredible. Amaeya is incredible. I cannot wait for her to release a project this year. Guys, you need to go check out this lady. If you're a big fan of R&B, just generally, not even Afro R&B or anything, if you're a big fan of R&B generally, you should be listening to her. She has this album, Like a Flower, which is just absolutely fantastic. I did not know. Oh my gosh. I honestly have to be truthful to you. I did not know she was this talented. Like, her discovery was this rich, right? I admire her so much. She's put in a lot of work that I think she's not, probably not getting all the recognition that I think she should. I mean, it's a pop dominating industry, but I mean, that's why this podcast exists. So let me not even go into that. But that's why if you're a big fan of Nigerian music and you want to know more than just what the media is giving to you with our pop acts, maybe one or two, three, or maybe just a handful of artists, right? Amaeya is definitely one. She is absolutely fantastic. She is in the same league with artists that I've spoken with in the past. I'm talking about Nana Fofi level. I mean, that is how much I regard her. She's right there with Nana Fofi on the same level, with incredible vocals, ability to write beautiful songs and tell really engaging stories. All of that is just absolutely fantastic. I cannot stress enough how much I think this lady is really, really talented, and I'm glad. Days like this just makes me really happy that this podcast exists, because I'm wondering what other platform exists to actually talk about this lady and work that lady, like artists like her, are doing in the industry, right? And I know if anyone who is a big fan, even a casual fan of Afrobeats, this past week was about maybe one artist, right? And for me, I was stuck on her. And I have to tell you guys, honestly, we are a lot. If you're outside of the bubble, the Afrobeats bubble, you're not listening every day to what's happening, you're being done a disservice. I'm telling you, you're being done a disservice, because there's so much more to Nigerian music than just the pop, which is the Afrobeats that you listen to. You need to be listening to Amaeya. She's absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait for her to come up with an album for you guys to actually, for more people to actually hear what this lady is about. But I promise that I will do it, that I will listen to her discography and just kind of give you guys an update. But you need to go listen to this album, Like a Flower, from last year. Absolutely fantastic. There is no way at this point she doesn't show up on my Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year as one of the most listened to artists. I mean, the whole week, like 90% of this whole week was just listening to the discography on repeat. I'm not saying an album. The whole, when you click, if you go on Spotify and you click on the first song that appears on that popular section there, I just press play and let her whole discography just go on repeat. Her voice is so calming, the music, and when she wants to turn it up, she has a few records where she was able to do that. I think this track titled On My Own, is it On My Own? Oh no, it's not this one. I'm not able to find a record now of the one where she just turns it on, and I'm like, okay, this is what let me see if I can quickly get it for you. I think it's Oh yeah, Too Much. Yeah, she turned it up real quick on this record titled Too Much. Track 3 off the Flower album. Absolutely incredible. I am rooting for this lady like real hard that um I mean, and that she gets the recognition that she should and gets all the love and all of that. But then I'm hoping as well that the like every other artist, that's like every what is happening with so many artists today, they're like, if I'm not able to sell out an arena or a stadium or a large venue, then I'm not even gonna try at all. I'm not gonna find where my fans are and try to reach out to them. If it's 10, if it's 100 of them, let me go find them where they are and gather together and let's perform. Like, I'm hoping she doesn't fall for that as well, like so many artists are today. I'm gonna speak about one as well who's got an album today who is falling for that, who is but guilty of that as well, who I feel is guilty of that, and they're not really doing the work that I think they do. Like, you just have to start where you got to start and be hopeful that you're able to build on that, right? And it's like everyone is just paralyzed with the fear and what would the internet say, instead of just doing what you're supposed to do as an artist. Like, you have you have incredible people like backing from people. You have folks who are working night and day to make sure your career blossoms, right? So why not go ahead and do these things, make this move? And I'm hoping she does, right? I'm hoping she is one of those who do like the impossible and try to do the impossible and be an R&B act and actually go out there and try to, I would pay to see her perform. Amaeya is one that I will pay to listen to the music. I will pay to watch her perform, to be in the same space as she is, because that's how talented I think she is, right? So I am absolutely just got smacked about by her talent, right? When I listened to the album, I just listened to the whole discovery, I was like, wait, what in the hell? What the heck am I listening to? Right? Absolutely talented lady, fantastic music that she is making. You all need to check her out. She's young as well. She's going to be here for a really long time. She's an incredible songwriter. So you'll be expecting that that's another, that adds a few more years to her life. I know she's written for many other artists in the Nigerian music industry. So I just needed to give you guys the updates like I promised you. Amaeya is, I'm just smiling. So just happy that I get to know this incredible talented artist. Another person that I listened to the music this week, new music from Tyla. See, man, you all know how I feel about this lady. I think she is special, not just an artist. I think she is special, not just like, oh, talented and being spoken about. She's been through a lot in the past year or so, and we right here on the No Stand Zone will come out to defend her every step of the way, because I think she deserves that. She needs to be defended. I have come out to, even on social media as well, to talk about her. And if there is one thing she's incredibly good at, it is being consistent. And I love that. She's not trying to tell me I can do country music and do American pop music and give you K-pop. When you listen to her, it's her, but it's refreshing. It's new. She's got this song out right now titled "Is It." This is absolutely fantastic. She is going to be here when 90% of this trash of this industry is no longer being spoken about. She's going to be here. She is going to be here because she knows what I think she has the pulse. She knows the pulse of the fans and what they're looking for, and she is sticking to it. This is incredible music. I love this. The first time I hit play, it happened that I was in a car and I pressed play and was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely fantastic. A couple of spins throughout the week as well. It was just listening to the ladies this week, right? Just like absolutely killing it, releasing incredible music right now. And the thing is, I know when you talk about Afrobeats right now or Nigerian pop music, it's mostly the guys at the top of the, it's the guys you're talking about because they're the most front facing. But when you do a deep dive right now, it's a lot of female artists. there are a number of female artists actually doing incredible work, right? I mean, Tyla is not one of those that's on the back end, like she's front facing, right? Not really Afrobeats per se, right? But African artists right there. But there's so many, like we just talked about Amaeya, right? And these female artists are doing an incredible job. And I mean, Tyler is right there at the top of, at the top of everything. But yeah, this single is incredible, and I know the next album is gonna hit as well. The next album is gonna hit as well. Well, I'm saving some of the things I want to talk about. We'll talk about at some point. I will get to them because I feel like I've been wanting to talk about this for a few weeks now. Okay, but I will get to them at some point. Now, another single from this week is by Fave. My goodness, that I don't know why her name just it just froze in my head. Fave she's also a pop act in Nigeria, doesn't release music as often as you think she should. We haven't really heard anything per se in the past like 2 years. Well, from her personally, she was on that incredible album by Davido, Timeless, from 2 years ago, basically at this point. That really got her out and people talking about her, but she hasn't really put out a lot of music. I'm a big fan of hers. I think she is also on that very unique. It's either you can tell it's Faye from a mile away because of her style of delivery, her style of how she sings, and all of that. So you can tell it's her from a mile away. And I think I must have been one of the very few people who spoke highly. Oh my goodness, how did I forget this? Of her 2024 EP. If you guys go on my Twitter, I have there's this post I put out last year about this EP titled Dirty Love. How did I forget that she actually had this out? And I absolutely love this. Yeah, Complicated, Controller, Lose Your Mind, Juju, a couple like 7 songs that actually have liked 5 of them. Absolutely incredible EP. I really did like it. I'm just remembering that, and I really did like it. Dirty Love is there. Complicated, really really nice EP she put together there. She has a new song out. This one was released via I think she had the performance at Collards, and this was the audio performance of the audio delivery of that. I haven't watched that the Color show of her. I haven't watched the Color show, but the audio here, Intentions. This is a really nice track. I love this song. She is one of those that I think of recent is when she's beginning to kind of pull her foot on the gas and be like, okay, I want to be seen there. I want to be talked about. I want to be heard, right? There was this period of time that she didn't really put out anything for where she was just quiet, right? Because she has an EP from 2022. She has the single from 2023 and that whole run with Davido, but nothing from her personally. And I think, I don't know if that's fair. There are some artists who have just one single and they're being talked about all the time. But I think she's one of those that people just want to hear. If she is not out constantly, then nobody's really saying anything, right? And it's easy to forget that she's actually there, right? I don't think it's as fun as it was for her. Not like fun, personally, like trying to read her mind, but I mean, we haven't really been engaged or talking about her as much like we used to do maybe even 2 years ago or 3 years ago. There was a time we talked about like the industry was talking about her all the time, and I'm not getting a lot of that recently, right? This is just me speaking of how the industry perceives her, right? Maybe because maybe the ascension of artists like maybe Iris Star would have had an effect on that. This is just me guessing, but Fave, incredible vocals, incredible delivery she does every time. I'm a big fan of hers as well. This song she has out right now titled Intentions, it's okay, it's her style. I'm here for it. We'll see what else comes up from her in the future. And this artist, next, we're going all the way to South Africa. I've spoken about Lloyiso as one of the talented artists on the continent, right? If you've been listening to this podcast long enough, you know um, how I regard him, how highly I regard Lloyiso. He's just incredible, and he was on a collaboration. This song is not his, but it was on a collaboration with Clean Bandit, one of the biggest artists in the world in that electronic pop scene, pop artists. I mean, big around the world. One of those artists that really good with getting all those, 80 million, what's it called? Like 80 million streams, 100 millions. Like, cool. I mean, I'm looking at it, oh my goodness. I'm on his discover on his page, like the Clean Bandit, and there are a couple of his songs that I actually do like. I mean, there's Symphony with Sarah Larson, which I actually love. He's got like one, two, three, four songs that are above a billion streams on Spotify. Like, he's one of those artists that, yeah, they do that in their sleep, right? Now, it just made me so happy to see that an artist like Lloyiso gets a collaboration with such an artist, right? So Lloyiso and Clean Bandit are both are on a song right now titled "Believe." This is for me. I'm just happy that this man gets this kind of recognition. He's got the voice. He's able to write songs um that I think fits that what's it called, that fits that genre of music, where, and they do that as well. I think he's mostly a DJ, and they do that as well, where those kind of artists, those kind of DJs, they do that as well, where they give you the beat, you just put in your verse, and it showcases the artists that they feature, right? Because you get to see a lot of those artists, because their ability to use their vocals and all of that just shines whenever they come in collaboration with artists like that. So I mean, this is I was, when I first saw this, I was just smiling. I was like, this is incredible. I'm just happy that my man Lloyiso gets such an incredible recognition from an artist this big. The song is titled "Believe." I think you guys should go check it out. Absolutely fantastic song. If you're into that those type of music, right? You will just love how Lloyiso sounds on this. Incredible. You love how he sounds on this as well. If you're a big fan of, like I mentioned, I Miss You. Oh my goodness, I remember that year. That must have been 2022, maybe 2022. I remember, I can't even say how many times I listened to this song, this "I Miss You" by Julia Michaels and Clean Bandit. Absolutely fantastic. I'm sure I added to the billions of streams that this song probably gained at the time. But yeah, I absolutely love his type of music, and generally those, and they're like similar artists like that I really love. Of course, Zara Larson. Who else? Just generally, the chain smokers, a big fan of those as well. Sia, I'm a big fan of hers as well. One Republic, those just artists that are like in that same genre. Zed, there are a couple of songs of this artist that I've actually that actually are on my liked songs from a few years ago. Alicia Zara, I remember the song what is this Disney, what is this Disney Moana. Yes, I can't remember how many times I listened to that song. What's it called? How Far I'll Go. Incredible record. I'm a big fan of what's it called? Genre musicals, and just all those Disney songs that a lot of singing. I remember growing up, and Lion King, all the songs from Lion King, I know all the songs from Lion King, 1, 2. Now, I saved myself the heartbreak or the heartache by actually not watching the live, what's it called, the new one they put out recently, that is more realistic, that is not the cartoon kind of thing from the 80s and the 90s. I saved myself. I just want to preserve that. The only idea, or the only a vision or that I have of Lion King is that, right? It's that cartoon, funny looking and kind of serious, and just the music, all of that. And that reminds me, if you guys, anyone out there who hasn't watched this song, watch the movie Sinners. My goodness, guys, you need to go watch this. Now, I'm watching it months after it released. It's been out there the cinemas for a few months. I haven't been to the cinemas in a really long time, maybe since the pandemic. So I didn't go to the cinemas to watch it. But one thing I didn't hear out of everything that was being said about this movie Sinners, it's actually a musical, partly musical. Absolutely fantastic. Right? Absolutely fantastic. No one told me it was a musical. I have heard different things about this movie over the years. Over the couple of weeks, it's a vampire movie. It's different things I've heard, right? But I didn't know. You guys didn't tell me it was it's a musical as well. Like that part. And I mean, we all have our different tastes, but so many people are like, oh, that some of the things I heard at the time before watching it is like, oh, there were some scenes that just went on too long because of the music and the dancing. I was like, well, that was what made the movie memorable for me. There is no way I'm forgetting the dance, and the playing on the piano, the playing on the guitar and the vocals. That was the movie for me. I mean, every other thing else there was just, it was just like a regular movie, right? But those scenes of the dancing and the music, that was the movie for me. And well, we all have different tastes, but for me, that was it. That made the movie really memorable. So yeah, big fan of Alicia Zara for her work on How Far I'll Go, the Moana, the part one. I don't think I've watched the part two. I've watched the part two yet, but yeah, Clean Bandit, Lloyiso, incredible record titled Believe. I'm happy for my man that he's getting the recognition that I think he should. And another lady that I've spoken well of this year, her name is Gyakie, from Ghana. She has a song out. The song from her song that caught my attention. Was it her song that caught my, or someone featured her this year? I think no, she was featured with another artist this year. That was the one that actually caught my attention. Let me see if I can find the artist that featured her. Well, I can't do that right now, but Gyakie, incredible artist from from Ghana. She has a song. She's also in that Afrobeats. She plays around with the Afrobeats sound pop act. She has a new song out right now titled Unconditional. See, I don't. There's almost nothing that this lady will release that I won't really love. And the thing is, she has found her lane. Like at the end of the day, see, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. If you're gonna be in the industry, right, fully recognized, there's so many artists. There's so many pop acts. You have to find what makes you special. Find your own sound, your own style, right? That singles you out, and just focus on that. She has been able to do that. There is. And whenever like there's a song out, her song, she releases a song, it's like I'm looking for the Gyakie, the thing that makes her her. That's why I'm listening to the record. I'm not just listening to the record to listen to another pop pop song, right? I want to hear her flair on it, her point of view, how she interprets this Afrobeats sound. Right, her own way of doing it. That's what I'm looking for, right? And I get it every time. I love that. Beautiful record titled Unconditional. Also out right now. You'll need to go check it out. So, let's get to the albums real quick. I don't think we're gonna be I'm gonna take much of your time today. We're just gonna get through this real quick, and we'll talk about um, the other things later, because this week I was all about Amaeya, and it was just Amaeya and Reekado Banks basically this week. Reekado Banks has an album out right now. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Now, but before we go into that, let me mention that I haven't listened to the Burna Boy's album just yet. I will get to it at some point this week. I will get to it, and maybe when I do, I probably maybe would release another episode just for that, because there is so much that I have wanted to say about Burna Boy even before the release of this album that I've been wanting to get. So many things I've been wanting to get to, and I think the release of this album kind of will help me, would just sort of help put a sort of like a pin to some of the things I wanted to talk about. Maybe this sometime during the week, and maybe not. Maybe we'll leave it till next week. We'll see how this week pans out. Yeah, we'll see how this week pans out. But yeah, let's get to Reekado Banks. If you don't know him, one of the top Afrobeat artists out there today. Now, the reason you probably haven't been hearing much about him is because he also went on a journey. I don't know what to say at this point. He's been out for a minute. I would say too long at this point for a pop act and someone who you expect to be releasing music every now and then. And he's got a few hits in his bag. He's got Ozumba, by the way, from a few years ago. You guys need to go look at that, check that out. Also Rora from a few years ago. So he's been in the industry. Like, he's actually put his footprint on the industry for years now. He just hasn't been as active as you would expect a pop act in today's world to be. And I think after the Ozumba, by the way, record from a few records ago, since 2021, basically nothing of notes up until this year, when he began to do the rollout for the album, releasing songs like Mukutu, which I spoke about at the time. So it's kind of good to hear from him, and my hope, and like I mentioned earlier, is like artists like him who are able to do it. I don't know why they're not gathering their fans together and also having shows. I don't know why they're not doing it. And in today's world where information is readily available at all of our fingertips, like, where the fans are, even if it's 3 locations a year. I don't know why so many more artists are not doing that. Right? Let me use artists like Ice Spice, for example. I remember after her breakout a few years ago, she was all around the country, like going around the US and going around the world, in fact. She released the album, released another single here and there, but she was moving around. It wasn't about whether you can gather 1 billion people or 10,000, 20,000 people. It was meeting your fans where they are, connecting with them. And our artists are not just doing that. And honestly, I think it's because of this social media thing where everyone is like, they don't want the video to get on social media that you just have 200 people there. I'm like, what are we even talking about here? I don't know why artists like Reekado Banks are not doing a lot more to reach out to their fans where they are. Right? I mean, it's music. What are we talking about here? But let's get to the album that he has now, which actually think this is fantastic work. Let me first of all start with the features in this project, second to none so far this year, of just how doing a good job of picking out the right people to feature on an album. This album does I don't think any album has done this, like, a great job like was done by Reekado Banks on this album titled "The Game Needs You." 15 tracks, 40 minutes, for 40 minutes plus. From Winnie to Terry Aquala, who I still think he has the album of the year, by the way. Terry Aquala to Lil Kesh to Fino, one of my favorite records on this album, to Skibby to Mayokun. I mean, the run of these features is absolutely fantastic. This is great. I would say research done on the features that the artists that you think you would do well with, that just ability to work with this artist. First of all, I will give him a B on this, on getting the right artist to work with on this album, because it made the album a lot more refreshing. It made it it gave it a different sprinkle of spice to it here and there. When the album was beginning to feel, maybe you hear a record that didn't really do it, but then by the next album, by the next song, having another artist kind of the footprint on the record kind of made the album a lot more alive, made it a lot more pleasurable to listen to. So first of all, I'm giving him a B for the features. They worked incredibly well. It was good to hear Lil Kesh again. It's been a minute. And Fino, I have, outside of the song from a few, was the song last year? No, maybe 2 years ago. Tiae featuring Burna. I don't think I've heard anything memorable from him, right? So it was good to actually hear him on a record that I could take in everything he was given on this record. So incredible feature there, there on the song titled "My Woman." But generally, as an album, I really did love this. I think one thing that saved, I would say, was as a positive and kind of negative at the same time, was there were a few songs that I think should not have been on the album. But every time it's like we were not lost for too long. Every time there was a record that I felt, oh my gosh, what is this? Right back. It's like the next song is like, I'm back again. And then you could have one record that is maybe not it, but then the record after that is it. But every time I felt engaged, right? Every single part of this album, I didn't go too long without getting a record that just be like, oh my God, this is it. Goosebumps every here and there, like, oh, this record actually hits it. This was, I really did enjoy this album. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was really, really well put together. The Fino track, like I said, titled "My Woman," was really good. Mukutu, also an incredible record. The Skibby track, maybe not it for me. The Mayoko track, I think he had released this one to a few months ago. Maybe I felt like I'd heard the song maybe somewhere. I mean, if the song hadn't been released before, I felt like I'd heard the song before somewhere. It just felt so familiar. It wasn't really any of it wasn't really a highlight of this album for me. But yeah, I mean, this album did really, really great job on putting it together. I really did like it. I need more. Hopefully we don't have to wait another maybe 3 years, or him being just absolutely quiet. I think he should he should work with other artists more, not necessarily on his own project, which I think that hasn't happened. Like, a lot of artists have released music in the past 3 years or so that I think he could have been actively involved. Like, Adekunle Gold has released an album that he wasn't there. Davido has released an album with Burna. Like, really artists that if he was on a record with any of these people, he will be able to stand his ground. I feel like he hasn't done enough of that. I think he needs to do that. To just be in the conversation over and over again, and not just like go quiet. I feel like, yeah, he's very chill, but no, he's too talented of an artist, I feel, to just decide, I'm just going to release an album and then I'm just going to sit back and be quiet. No, I think there is a lot more to him than just that. There is an aura to him as well, where just he doesn't have to do too much to be cool or to be perceived as that, right? By just being him, you just hear the music, you see him show up, and you're like, yeah, you can see why he's a star, right? You can see why so many people will gravitate towards him. A really talented artist as well, one who, if he actually is as active as I think he can be, like some of the really most talked about artists like are, if he's as active as they are and putting out music and kind of really a lot more intentional about this, he's as what will I say, as active and being out there all the time, as active as Rema is, we'll be having a different conversation, right? He'll be talked a lot more about. His talent will be a lot more recognized by the industry and all of that, right? So I think he's the one holding himself back. The fact that he's just that release album and go and sleep artist, he's doing himself a lot of um he's not doing himself a lot of favors at this point. But this is an incredible album. I will give this album um sort of like a B, an A minus there. I will give this album a B. Let's just leave it at that. I will give this album a B. But this was an album that I listened to over and over again as well, like several times, to just take it all in. I just pressed play and I just left it. It was later on that I was going to check the titles of the songs and like, oh my god, okay, this song's actually like the track 3 or track 4 and things like that. But I really did enjoy this album. The industry actually needs no artists like we actually, not even artists, like the industry actually needs him. This is not even like him bragging, right? The industry actually does need artists like him to be out there and to be consistent, to be active. I think I wish he was as active as, as Gyakie and Rema and all these artists were, just really out there as often as he could possibly be. I think we'll be having a different conversation when we mention, Nigeria's top artist. And there's no way you don't mention him. He's got a very rich discography that if you're mentioning really talented artists, you're not going to look at this discography and be like, oh, no, right? He's doing himself a lot of, why am I always saying that? He's not doing himself a lot of favors. Right now at the moment by just being so quiet and chill when he could be a lot more aggressive, and he's got the product to actually show for it. Like, unlike so many artists who are just out there all the time and they don't have the product to show for it, right? I mean, he's got one of the biggest records from a few years ago, Sensima by Skibby. He was on that record. Absolutely fantastic, right? He's got a collaboration with Tiae Vibes as well, but I think he's just so chill, right? I just feel like he needs to be more active. Oh my goodness, I just remembered this record now. Feel Different. Oh my gosh. Incredible record. Let me go to when this. Oh my gosh, people. Oh my gosh, from 2020. Oh my gosh. Guys, Reekado Banks is one of the top Afrobeat artists we've ever had, because if I just click on his discography right now and I'm looking at the songs that I've been here, my guy, he needs to be doing a lot. He needs to be doing a lot more than he's doing, right? He needs to be a lot more active, man. He's got product just sitting in the warehouse. If Reekado Banks decides to go on tour, it's gonna be mayhem, because he's got the product to sell. I would pay to see him and Adekunle Gold and if Malik Berry perform this record on stage. I would pay to see that, right? He's got the product. He's got products. So, bro, I don't know why he is not as active as I think he can be. He's got a very rich discography that I think he's just sitting on. He's got a bunch of artists that he can bring up with him. I mean, this Skibby record, if he goes on stage and brings on Skibby, I will just lose it, because it's one of the top songs, one of the top songs from a few years ago. So one of the biggest songs from a few years ago. He's got a bunch of artists that he can actually bring on stage that can actually keep keep an audience for an hour. I'm okay with an hour, bro. I am very okay with an hour, but I mean, he needs to be a lot more active than he is right now. I think he's just too chill. There's a way, he's got that laid back feel to him that I think if he decides to be active and be out there, it's a different conversation we're going to be having about an artist like Reekado Banks, for sure. A top pop act who just knows how to put out pop records. It works easy for him. Like that Ozumba Obadiwe record, it's just ridiculous. That's how you know these really good pop acts who can take the mundane things, but they're so good at putting out engaging records that it's almost easy. He's on the same level like those kind of artists, like the way Kiss Daniel is. It's like it comes easy to them to be able to just put out pop records. They don't have to do much. It feels like they don't have to do much. It feels easy. Look from the outside looking in. So I just wish that he's a lot more active than he is right now. But overall, this album is absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I will give him a B for this. Not one of the top albums of the year for me, but there are a few of the records on this on the album that I really did like. You see that the Fino record is ridiculous. Titled My Woman. I really did like it. I'm shuffling between that My Woman, the Terry Akpala record, Oroma. There is the Mukutu, incredible record as well. Almost times 100. I love that. The last track on the record as well, Bro. I really did like that one. That one as well. So a few records there that I really did like. For sure. But overall, I will give this album a B. I really did like it. Reekado Banks, my bro, please be more active. Get out there. Be aggressive. Attack. Like, go on the offensive, man. Don't just sit and be chill. He cannot, the product is there, bro. The product is there. I just wish they were more active. But yeah, that yeah, that's kind of it for me on this Reekado Banks album. It's titled The Game Needs You. I really did like this one. So but that rounds things off on the show for today. I will get to Burna's album maybe next week. I haven't listened to it yet. I've intentionally just zoned out everything on social media. I'm skipping through. I haven't even seen zero. I've only seen 1% of anything that has been said about this album online. But my thoughts around this, I've mentioned over even before the release of this album, right? As to what to sort of his trajectory so far, right? I mean, this, like I mentioned before, this decade they're going out. This is the last decade artists like him are going to be relevant, and albums like this are gonna mean a lot to how he goes out of the sort of goes out of the industry, how he just slowly fades out. This last few albums that he's got to give, which I think is going to be one of the last albums that he's got, maximum maybe two more in this industry before we all the industry just moves on to the next thing. So I'm waiting to see what this album will give. If this album is top notch, then we'll wait and see. I mean, it's gonna extend it a little bit, but if it's not, I'm gonna listen to it. If it's not, then we're looking at the rounding days of rounding things off for him. And it's not even whether he likes it or not. What am I even saying? Whether he likes it or not, this decade they're done. 2025, 2035 ish. This we're not even going to get to the end of the decade before we're done with artists like him. That a whole generation of people are going to be maturing, and this music will not necessarily be what everyone is top of mind for everybody. So it's not even just him, Davido, Wizkid, that generation. Yeah, they're phasing out this decade. Like I mentioned it at the beginning of the year, we're gonna wait to see We're gonna wait to see how that turns out. But I think this album, the success or whatever, how good the album is, it is gonna be very, 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 very important. So we'll get to that later on at maybe next week. Yeah, well, let's say next week, because I was thinking maybe I should do a lone episode where I'm just talking about the album, but it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it next week, and hopefully you guys will hear, because you all are so incredible. Thank you very, 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 very much for your time. Thank you for listening. If you have thoughts at all about anything I've talked about on the show today or in past episodes, do not hesitate to reach out. My DMs are open. On X is Tiae Sound, TIAE _sound. Also on Tiae Sound on Instagram, I think on TikTok as well. So please follow on all those platforms. You can send me a DM then. Let me know your thoughts. Let's have a conversation. Okay. I'm not that mean, right? And I've had several conversations with people, especially on X, about some of the things we talked about on the show, and it's always so good to hear from every one of you. So do not hesitate to reach out. Let's have that conversation. Let me know what you think about any of the things we talked about on the show today. Please don't also hesitate to share with family and friends. Well, right? So I think that rounds things up. And if there are any artists that caught your attention, please do not hesitate to share with me. I'm open to listening to more as well. Like, we found artists here as well, like Nana Fofi, Tyra Chante. I mean, who was talking about her before I did on the show? One of the artists that we found right here on the No Stand Zone podcast. So please, I'm open to all of that. Thank you very much for your time. So please don't drink and drive, don't text and drive, and until next week, stay blessed.